Welcome back. It's me, Lou. Okay, so I'm going to apologize in advance. This will not be the usual unboxing and review. If anything, we're going to take a look at this figure mint on card. All right, so we're going to talk about Sabu today. Big fan. If you've been to my channel before, you know I'm a fan of pro wrestling. I'm a big fan of like old school ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling. Growing up in the Chicagoland area, back in the day, ECW used to come through town pretty often. I saw them perform at the Aragon Ballroom and also at the legendary Odeum, which was now torn down. Sabu was always the highlight of like every show I went to. He's the homicidal, genocidal superstar of ECW. One of the, I think, defining wrestlers in terms of that kind of like garbage match style that was, prominently displayed, during ECW's heyday. Often associated with Rob Van Dam, Sabu was always known for his death-defying antics and stunts. This was a great line of action figures. I remember when I first saw this, it was I think it was like a Saturday or a Sunday morning. I went to my Toys R Us, hunting around for like, I think new Star Wars or new McFarlane figures, in the Spawn line. And then near the front of the store, they had a display, and then they had ECW figures, and it kind of took me back. Keep in mind, even though the internet was around at the time, sometimes news wouldn't always be up to date, or sometimes you just walk into a store and just see new stuff out there. We didn't have stuff like social media back then. So for me to see a brand such as ECW being carried in Toys R Us, and for them to have action figures, I was just floored, because at the time, ECW merchandise, the only thing I could really get at the time was, t-shirts, either ordering them directly from ECW or getting them at the live shows, or I think this even predated DVDs, getting ECW matches through tape traders. So there wasn't a whole lot of merchandise, and at the time, I think the only thing I had was a Sabu t-shirt that I'd later learned was designed by Taz, which is kind of crazy to think about. So we have Sabu here. It's a nice looking action figure. This thing is pretty old, so the plastic bubble is actually actually tinted yellow now, so it's kind of hard to make out the action figure. I used to have this loose back in the day. But then there was that point in my life where after college, I told myself I'm done with toys, and like an idiot, I just threw stuff out. So, all these years later, if I could find some of these figures for reasonable prices, I'll pull the trigger. Much was the case with this guy. I think I found this guy for maybe like $25, and I didn't hesitate. I pulled the trigger, and I have my beloved Sabu action figure back. He features a pivot punch, a nice portrait of Sabu. The package design's kind of, I don't want to say it's generic, but it's not the flashiest of things. It's very eye-catching for sure. On the back, here's some other figures. There we have Taz, Just Incredible, RVD, Dreamer, New Jack. We have the Dudley Boys, Sabu, and then Lance Storm. And there was also the ring and the cage playset. Collect them all. And this thing came out back in 1999. So it's nuts. This thing's like 25 years old. And man, I'm so happy to have this back in my collection. And then last year, I happened to find this one, RVD. So it's kind of cool. Longtime rivals, lifelong friends. RVD was trained by Sabu's uncle, the original Sheik. And it's great. The only other figure I want from this ECW line is the Shane Douglas. I remember the Shane Douglas figure just being amazing. These other figures, they were nice, but the Shane Douglas one was on a completely different level. It almost felt like it fit in more with the Toy Biz WCW figures at the time. Alright, so since I'm not unboxing this guy, the very least we could do is look at another Sabu action figure. This one was released by Jakks Pacific. And it's nice. The hair is starting to feel like it's starting to melt. It's a little bit tacky. This rubber material's been known to degrade over years. But it's a great looking Sabu figure. It's not in his trademark colors, but I still like this one a lot. Much larger than Mattel's offerings, and it's cool. You know, he has the scars on his chest and on his abdomen. He has the taped up wrists. It's a great looking figure. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, you probably know of all of Sabu's crazy matches from back in the day. If you're a younger fan, I highly suggest you seek them out. It was nice to see Sabu on AEW television not too long ago. I know RVD's like a part-time AEW guy. But it'd be nice to see Sabu back in the ring. I mean, even though he's past his prime, he's still like one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Alright, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.